Good morning, good afternoon, or maybe good evening, dear colleagues. I'm Professor Olga from the School of Industrial Management, Korea University of Technology and Education, South Korea. I'm very glad to make my presentation today for you, and I hope that you will find the interesting material for this presentation, and I hope that you will enjoy it. First of all, let me introduce myself. Actually, I live and work in Korea for the last 5 years, and my major is international business and technology transferring in the global environment. So that's why usually I discuss different topics which refer to the global markets, innovation, systems in global markets, the general strategy development of the global corporations, and so on. And this is my first experience of participation at the Entrepreneurship and Family Enterprise Research International Conference. I'm very glad to be here with you. And today I'd like to share with you my research about the Korean model of family enterprise. So I'd like to show you some statistic aspects of the family enterprise in the Korean market. So what's going on during the recent years with the family business in Korea, and what are the perspectives of the family Korean enterprise in the future. So first of all, let's start with the scope of my research. Here you can see the main objectives of my study. Actually, I announced few questions which are very actual these days because right now all of us we suffer from the story of the COVID, and believe me that all the areas of the business they have strong impact from the COVID. And I think that this is also the aspect of the family business because there are some kind of changes in the global markets, and also there are some kind of changes in the Korean market. That's why I submitted the first goal as the identification of the organizational changes in the Korean family business. We can find these changes, but believe me that it's not easy to manage all these changes, and sometimes even managers they need some kind of support and clarification. What does it mean, the changes in the family business? Also, it is necessary to discover future trends and perspectives of the family running enterprises, especially in modern unstable environment, especially in Asian region, because you know that definitely Asian region has the long history of the family business. And the next task of this research that we need to analyze the impact of family conglomerates on society, because there is strong correlation between the economic environment and social environment of the family business. Actually, I tried to do this study during the last 5 years from the 2015 until now. And definitely I'm here in Korean market. That's why I choose the Korean huge corporations, famous corporations, which belong to the high-tech market. I choose them for this study. And I had the opportunity to ask the managers from the Samsung Corporation and Honda Corporation about the principles of the family business, and I made some interview. Also, I use the open access resources to find the statistic data on what's going on with the family business and what was the transformation of the family business in Korean market. And I did some field studies. So I created some case study and tried to analyze the circumstances and the reasons and the final conclusions, how to run the family enterprises, huge family enterprises in the Korean market. Okay, first of all, let's start with the major definitions of the family business in Korean market. I hope that you've heard about the huge Korean conglomerates, and these conglomerates, they are international companies, and right now they have impact not only on the Korean market, but definitely they have some impacts on the international markets also, because they diversify successfully their international strategies and they deliver their products, ideas, technologies across over the world. And you can see here the picture on the slide that there are some famous Korean corporations which have the strong impact on the global environment. Among them, you can find the Samsung Corporation, LG Corporation, the Honda Corporation, and also there are some financial groups in the Korean market here, Nonham Bank, Doosan, telecommunication corporations, for example, SK, yeah. So all of them, they belong to the high-tech industries because even the banking system and financial system is focused on the high technologies here in Korea. And all these conglomerates, they're based on the family business principles. And actually, this is the story about the chaebol system. You know that in Korea, there is the chaebol system of the family enterprise. And here you can find the short description. What does it mean, chaebol? I mark it in blue color. So chaebol, generally conglomerating of the affiliated companies. So actually in the Korean market, we have few huge conglomerates and they manage all the major industries and they capture more than 50% of the market share. Yeah, it's true. And among them, you can find the Samsung Corporation. Yeah, so this is one of the handful of family-controlled companies. This is the chaebol exactly. Yeah, and this corporation definitely dominates economic life in South Korea. It's true. Also, we have the LG company, and LG company also is focused on the high-tech products. So it makes smartphones, televisions, electronic components, chemicals, and other products. But please understand that the major markets for these companies are high-tech markets, but at the same time, they may support the sport activities, entertainment, Korean K-pop, yeah, definitely, because they invest in these areas also. Also, there is another chaebol in the Korean market, which is called as Honda, and it is also very famous international conglomerate. So this conglomerate, together with Kia, has the strong impact on the automobile industry. It is very popular in the American market, in Europe, in other countries. But also they make elevators, for example. Before I came on Korea, I even didn't know about that the Honda Corporation makes the elevators also. Also, they provide different logistics services which are based on the technologies, high technologies. They run hotels, leisure aspects, department stores, and so on. And this is the benefit for the Korean market to have such kind of chaebols. But at the same time, there are so many problems. So that's why let's discuss what's going on with the chaebol family business system in Korean market. So here the extra definition of the chaebol system. As I mentioned earlier, chaebol corporations, international conglomerates, they have two major impacts on the life in Korea, and also they have impacts on the global markets. The first impact is economic impact, and you can see here the statistics that the chaebols in the Korean market, they account for over 50% of the Korean stock market capitalization. Yeah, and all these conglomerate companies such as Samsung Corporation, Honda Corporation, LG Corporation, they own around 200 registered companies. Yeah, so they create this strong network among the companies, and their total market capitalization was about more than 700 trillion Korean won. Yeah, so it's about also more than $500 trillion US dollars. And it was in 2016. So before the COVID in 2019, the capitalization was even more. At the same time, they have the second impact, and this is the cultural aspect. Yeah, so the chaebol system is the important element of the Korean culture. You know that this is the Asian type of the culture, and the same happened in Japan. The Japan economy also has the family business enterprises, yeah, and we may find the family enterprises in China. So all these countries, they used to manage the family businesses. They like to control the huge percentage of the market share. But nowadays we have some kind of trends in family business. And you see here the developments in the family business environment. So more than 30 years ago, it was the family business which referred to the small business and management in early 2000s. Yeah. After that, this family business started its impact on the global environment. So at the end of 2000s, the family business moved to the international environment. So it becomes like the global entrepreneurship, and it became as the international business. And recently, in most of the family enterprises, the international marketing strategy and international aspect of the entrepreneurship became the most important, because they have the ambitious, especially Korean conglomerates, they have ambitious to enter the foreign markets, to capture the good percentage of the foreign markets. Why not? They'd like to push their cultural aspect. They'd like to promote the country in the global society. It's true. It's not bad or good. It's just the point for the discussion. And I just mentioned the trends in the global environment. And also we have some kind of positive results from the chaebol system in Korea, from the family business. You know that we have the Korean miracle, economic miracle, yeah, because the Korean economy developed very fast 30 years ago. And now the South Korea is the one of the most developed country in the world. That's why we can see here the statistics which show us the benefits from the family business in Korea. So actually the chaebols, they gave a lot of values to the economy development, to the technology development. It's true. And every year the chaebols in South Korea contribute a huge percentage of the gross domestic product, GDP. Yeah, and you can see here in this table. At the same time, we could recognize that there are about 10 companies in the Korean market which are called as unicorns, because they focus on the high technologies. Most of them, they develop the software, and they're valued over 1 billion won by public or private market investors. Yeah, so they invest a lot of money in the economy. These are good trends. How do chaebols in South Korea develop? But let's discuss the negative aspects. Also, there are some kind of negative aspects in the Korean market, because recently, a lot of people, they do not like the management system of chaebol, because the chaebol system, the chaebol management system has the strong control upon the employees, and there is huge distance between the boss or owners, especially, and the managers and employees. And you can see that from the open access, you can find the information about the salary of the top managers of the chaebol and owners of this business. And actually, the society doesn't like this huge difference, huge gap between the wealth of the top managers of the chaebols and the other managers from other companies. And also, if you look through the second picture on the right of this slide, you can find that this is a huge gap between the profit of the chaebol corporations and other large corporations, even in Korean market, you see. So there are some other large corporations in the Korean market, but the difference in their revenue, amazing, huge, yeah, more than 50%. And there are not so many small and medium enterprises in the Korean market, because it's too difficult to enter the market if you have some major companies in the market, and those companies capture more than 50% of the market, you know. So this is the problem. And also you can see the negative impact during the recent 3 or 4 years in the Korean market. The percentage of the small businesses in the market even declined. Yeah, so we have minus 3% here. It's the problem, because it's not easy to start your business and arrange the enterprise in the Korean market. You have to build a strong friendship, at least with the chaebols, and be partner or a part of the huge chaebol. And we need to suggest some kind of recommendations, what we have to do. And I mentioned only 3 recommendations. Please understand that it's not only my recommendations I found, or this recommendation from the market, from the society, from the managers, and even government. So first of all, it is necessary to arrange some kind of transformation of the unicorn system of family enterprise here in Korea. It's not an easy process, and it is necessary to spend several years to implement some kind of changes, but they should be. And or it is necessary to arrange the cooperation between the huge corporations and small and medium-sized corporations, companies in the market. It is necessary to share the activities, ideas, technologies, and so on. And it is necessary to adapt to the foreign culture also. And it's better if the Korean corporations, especially chaebols, because they operate their business in the global market also, they should understand the cross-cultural environment and cross-cultural aspects of their business, and maybe they may improve their internal environment also according to this understanding. So this is the short results of my survey. I'm going to continue this. So definitely we may raise more questions about the story, but I hope that you found some interesting aspects from my presentation. And if you want to contact me in the future, so please join my LinkedIn page, and I will be very appreciated for your questions and feedback. Thank you very much for active listening. Bye-bye.